Welcome our honorable guests and speakers to our beautiful pavilion. I'll start with the context. Indonesia has made a bold commitment to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, referring to enhanced NDC, and one of the significant greenhouse gases that Indonesia is looking to address is methane, which is a toxic contributor to global warming. So as part of the global initiative to combat climate change and reduce methane emissions, bioenergy innovations assume a pivotal role given its potential to offer renewable and carbon neutral energy solutions. So on this session, we will learn more on the importance, the potential, the challenges and opportunities from bioenergy innovations. And for that, let's welcome our moderator for this session. He's the Senior Advisor to the Minister of Environment and Forestry Indonesia, Bapak Agus Pambagio. Silakan.
Okay, thank you, Mona. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This time is a good time on the 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock in the evening is going to be sleepy time, but let's say we can have a serious discussion with, we call it bioenergy innovations, robust solution for sustainable energy futures. So bioenergy is a very important thing now because we have to choose for energy or for food. So today we have 4 distinguished speakers. First one I'll call to sit down here on front, Pak Sigit Riliantono. He is the Director General of Environmental Pollution and Degradation Control. Pak Sigit, please. Secondly, we give an applause. Secondly, Pak Haris Yahya is here. Okay, we skip it next time. So number 3 is Rick Duke. Please. He's U.S. Deputy Special Envoy for Climate. And then the last one is Pak Oki Muraza, Senior Vice President, Research and Technology Innovation, PT Pertamina Indonesia. Have a seat. So we only have very short time to discuss with 4 distinguished people. I just introduce and then I don't talk a lot as a moderator. First of all, I will invite Rick to give a speech where the title is Lowering Organic Waste Methane or LOA Methane. Rick, time is yours, only 15 minutes. I'm sorry for the limited time.
Okay, good afternoon. Appreciate the interest in this topic. And I wanted to start by thanking the government of Indonesia. We are delighted to be working with government of Indonesia on so much through the U.S.-Indonesian Comprehensive Strategic Plan. And I want to go wind the tape back a little bit to COP26 when we launched the Global Methane Pledge. At that time, Indonesia was right there with us, and now we have grown to 155 countries, in part thanks to the early partnership with Indonesia on methane. And I also want to now talk about the present, where just yesterday, the Methane and Non-CO2 Summit between the United States, China, and UAE, right here at COP28, showed that we have major action starting to materialize on mitigating methane together, consistent with the goal of the Global Methane Pledge to reduce global methane emissions at least 30% by 2030. And in particular, just to hit some of the headlines from yesterday at the Methane and Non-CO2 Summit, we saw a quintupling of the original goal for methane finance, where actually over $1 billion in new grant funding for methane was announced yesterday by various partners, including funding from governments, private sector, and philanthropy, and with some extraordinary action also by governments to complement that funding, including new oil and gas regulations from the United States government that will have dramatic reductions over 80% and over 1.5 gigatons of CO2 equivalent cumulatively reduced by those standards in our oil and gas operations. And a suite of new members to the Global Methane Pledge, including the 4th and 12th largest oil and gas emitters, Turkmenistan and Kazakhstan joining, and a range of other things as well. So we're really moving from just putting methane higher on the agenda to actually seeing investment and standard setting and real action under that rubric. But let me just say, pivoting to today's topic, that we need to talk about much more than just fossil methane. We have to actually talk about methane in the waste sector. We have to talk trash, as we might say. And that's because while methane overall is 30% of today's climate change, the waste sector is fully a fifth of methane emissions. And so it's really quite important that Indonesia is stepping up and taking serious action across all the different elements of methane emissions, including the fact that I know the relevant ministries in Indonesia have really geared up and considered what can be done in terms of waste management in order to reduce methane emissions from that subsector as well. And when we can tackle the waste sector more strategically, including in Indonesia, there are many co-benefits there. So it involves things like reducing food loss and waste, and that, of course, boosts food security. When we separate organics from waste streams, we can generate compost and other high-value products. And, of course, when we close open dumps and improve landfills, that cuts ocean pollution and it improves public health and safety. So there's many reasons to proceed with this agenda, and that's why, as part of the summit yesterday and part of the Global Methane Pledge implementation more broadly, we're really proud to have launched at a very well-attended and dynamic session yesterday, the Lowering Organic Waste Methane Initiative, that is a way to get subnational governments at the fore, working with national governments on this important question of how to manage waste better and thereby lower organic waste as the key contributor that it is to methane emissions. And let me be very specific about that. The Low Methane Initiative is targeting reductions of at least 1 million tons of methane from waste systems globally by 2030, working across 40 jurisdictions, cities principally, and we're seeking to unlock $10 billion to support this work and related investment. So we look forward to working with Indonesia on this part of the methane puzzle, and we are very appreciative of the work that's already underway across the Indonesian government on this agenda. So thanks, and look forward to the discussion with the panelists.
Yeah, give him applause. Thank you, Rick. So Indonesia is, we still have to investigate and to find out the way how to work with low methane. So I think in Indonesia sometimes the regulatory frameworks also have to be prepared before we really concern on the low methane. So at the moment we inviting Pak Sigit Reliantono or Pak Sigit mau duluan? Oh, I think the player first, PT Pertamina. So Pak Oli, so the regulator will be talking later on after the policy of, and because we have another regulator is not here, so I think I rely on Pak Sigit. So Pak Oli, Pak Oki, so time is yours.
Thank you very much, Pak Agus. Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Pak Sigit, Rick, yeah, and later I think Pak Haris will join us. Yeah, very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to be with you. Thank you for staying with us. So, basically, energy transition, ladies and gentlemen, is basically should be adapted according to the potential that we have in each country. And considering that Indonesia is basically located in tropical country where we have enough sun and enough water every year, so basically bioenergy is one of the main driver for us. So in these few minutes, I'm going to highlight some of our activities on bioenergy. I will start with biodiesel. This is the Indonesian success story. Just like bioethanol in US, bioethanol in Brazil, Indonesia has a very nice success story on biodiesel. And then I will highlight a bit on bioethanol, yeah, following the success story from US, Brazil, and many other countries trying to have the implementation of bioethanol. The third one, I will highlight a bit on the sustainable aviation fuels. And as Rick started with biomethane, I will also have one slide on biomethane. This is also very interesting progress. So first of all, I think this slide is very clear that in Pertamina, we have strategies in order to follow our government in order to reach the net zero in 2060 or sooner. It can be considered as the decarbonization of our current business, or it can be also considered as preparation of the new business. Yeah, and the carbonization of current business, it's basically capturing CO2, capturing methane, flare gas minimizations, etc., etc. Creating new business is like electrifications, increasing the size of our geothermal, generating the power from geothermal waste, etc., etc. And as part of our commitment, as you can see on this slide, basically Pertamina is allocating almost 15% of the capex for new and renewable energy. So now we are going to highlight a bit about the 3+1, yeah, biodiesel, bioethanol, SAF, and biomethane. Let me start with the biodiesel. So the foundation of this biodiesel is basically the large production of vegetable oil in Indonesia. If we can consider only palm oil, yeah, Indonesia is not only with palm oil basically. We have so many oils, vegetable oil. Just palm oil we produce 50 million ton per year. Yeah, so this is huge productions. And what we can expect from this basically, up to now we have already implementing 35% of oxygenates or fatty acid methyl esters. And with this, basically we are now having about 30 million kiloliters of our diesel stream, basically replaced by the oxygenates from vegetable oil. And with this, the mitigation is already 28 million ton of CO2 per year. And as you can see, that basically this is one of the most powerful way in order to mitigate CO2 just from one product that we have in Pertamina, the biodiesel. Yeah. Next, I'm going to highlight a bit on the green diesel or renewable diesels. Why we have to do this green and renewable diesel? Because as we remember that the biodiesel is basically oxygenates. It's the fuel which contain oxygen. That means that the fuel by nature will have the limitations in oxygen stability, which means that we are going to have challenges in the storage, etc., etc. This renewable diesel is beautiful. So this is basically non-oxygenates. So there is no oxygens in the fuels in such a way that you can store it for years. This is good for shipping, etc., etc. We started a lot of initiatives on these renewable diesels. And up to now, basically we have the capacity. Later on, I will show you the capacity that we have for this green diesel. The key, the technology key basically is catalysis, in which that we need to remove the oxygen by hydrogenation. And after that, we need to alter the carbon change by having isomerizations. And we we already mastered both of these technologies, be it hydrogenation and also the isomerizations. Next slide, please. Yeah. Next, the bioethanol. This bioethanol is basically for the gasoline stream. As you know that this program is very strategic. It's going to help Indonesia to reduce the import of gasoline. It's going to help Indonesia to reduce the emission from scope 3 from our product. And just like similar program in India, in US and in Brazil, it will help us to give multiplier income for the farmer. Yeah, this is basically, I was in India a few months ago. This is really, the emphasis in India is basically to give higher income for the villagers, for the farmers. Yeah. So the challenges in bioethanol is basically the feedstock. At this moment, Indonesia produce only about 30,000 kiloliters, which is basically consumed. Now we distribute E5 in Indonesia for Surabaya and 10 fuel station and 5 fuel station in Jakarta with the brand of Pertamax Green. Now we are going to widen the feedstock, not only molasses, which is the sugarcane byproduct. So now we are extending to, for instance, the waste of the sorghum. Yeah, as you know that sorghum is strategic plants which can be planted in marginal lands in Indonesia everywhere. Up to now, we have about 30,000 hectare basically in Indonesia for sorghum, and we can utilize the waste. We just have the showcase last week in Mandalika, in Nusa Tenggara Barat, in which that we show that it is possible to have bioethanol from sorghum waste. And then the other thing is basically we have a number of plants in Indonesia which can generate also similar glucose. Yeah, for instance, as you know that Indonesia is very rich in terms of natural-based solutions. Yeah, and part of our natural-based solution is mangrove. Yeah, there are about 48 up to 50 types of mangrove, and one of the types of mangrove that we have is called Nipah fruticans. This Nipah fruticans is basically a very productive producer of glucose, in which that we can utilize it to produce the bioethanol. So our activities, basically this year and next year, we are going to try to widen the potential feedstock, yeah, not only from molasses, but also to Nipah fruticans, also to sorghum waste. Yeah. And in addition to that, because we don't want to have problems, the competition between fuel and food, we are also considering other biomass feedstock in Indonesia. The biomass feedstock, which is abundant in Indonesia, is called empty fruit bunch, yeah, or tandan kosong sawit in Indonesian. This empty fruit bunch, we have at least 50 million ton per year, which we expect that it will be accessible with the regulatory framework in Indonesia. So basically, from molasses, there is one presidential decree actually related to the strengthening Indonesia economy by the production of sugar. Yeah, so Indonesia will have another 700,000 hectare to produce up to basically 1.2 million kiloliter of bioethanol, yeah, in 2030. Plus, we are expanding to biomass waste. We are expanding to the sap from mangrove, yeah, from Nipah fruticans, and also from biomass waste, such as empty fruit bunch. Yeah. Then the last liquid fuels which will be highlighted is sustainable aviation fuels. As you may heard that Pertamina and some parties, including Garuda and also our government, we just have commercial flight with SAF, yeah, with 2.4% of sustainable efficient fuels. This is basically feasible. Last week, we all further improved our capability to produce renewable diesels and also sustainable efficient fuels by having isomerization. So basically, from technology point of view, we are ready to produce this renewable diesel and SAF. The problem is with the price of the feedstock. So of course, one of the targeted feedstock that we are considering at this moment is used cooking oil. So if our government can help us with the regulatory frameworks, which is supportive for collecting and maintaining the waste in Indonesia, Indonesia will be one of the first mover in sustainable aviation fuels in the world. Then, yeah, basically we finished with the one with Garuda, with Boeing, basically. We are on the way to discuss with other manufacturer, with Airbus, etc., etc. And as you can see that in Indonesia potentially can be the main player for sustainable aviation fuels because we have vegetable oil, 50 million ton per year. With proper regulatory framework, we can be the major player, just like biodiesel. And then we have ethanol, basically from different type of plants, which can be converted to sustainable aviation fuels by alcohol to jet technology, and etc., etc. So basically, with the proper regulatory framework, we can be the one of the main player for sustainable aviation fuels on Earth. So this is the third part. Then, next slide, please. Yeah, this is the demand for SAF and renewable diesel in Indonesia. At this moment, we have Cilacap Phase 1. This is 3,000 barrel per day. Next, we are going to have Cilacap Phase 2 with 6,000 barrel per day. And with Cilacap Phase 2, basically we can treat the used cooking oil. So if we can manage the collections and also the logistics for used cooking oil, we are ready for Cilacap Phase 2 to convert used cooking oil to renewable diesels and also to sustainable aviation fuels. If we need further demand for this, basically in Pelaju we can have another project which is bigger, up to 20,000 barrel per day. Yeah. So basically, Pertamina has different scenarios, basically, in order to match the demand and the market for green fuels in Indonesia. Yeah. This is basically, we prepare specifically to follow up Rick's presentation. Biomethane, this is also huge potential in Indonesia. Just from palm oil industry, we have more than 1,000 palm oil refinery, yeah, or in Indonesian pabrik kelapa sawit. We have more than 1,000. Yeah. Recently we start with some of them, and with this we capture the biogas, we separate CO2 from methane, then we send the methane to our pipeline. We have pipeline from Sumatra to Java, and in Java we have a lot of foreign companies in which that they are very interested with this green gas, basically. So they are ready to pay a premium price for biomethane. So basically, with proper regulatory frameworks, and of course, we are also expecting the biocertificate. If there is a biocertificate for biomethane, I think it will further motivate the companies which are basically coming to us to develop similar projects. We are ready to expand for this. There are many initiatives, as we mentioned, that more than 1,000 palm oil mill in Indonesia. They are just now having the open pond for the palm oil mill effluents. Plus, we have a lot of food industries in which that basically we can utilize the liquid waste. So these are basically some of our initiatives. Hopefully, with more attentions to regulate many things, basically in diesel, renewable diesel, bioethanol, sustainable aviation fuels, and biomethane. Indonesia can be one of the main players for bioenergy because we are located in tropical countries, and of course we can improve the life quality of our farmer. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Give it a big applause. This is a very interesting topic. You know, there's now we also need Indonesia also need huge land to plant all those kind source of bioenergy. Of course, we have so many industry on palm oil and so on, but still. Oh, I think we have to invite. Okay. So I think in the future also it sounds. I think we are feeling out if we fly with the airlines and then some of the this come from bioenergy. Of course, it should be because of the flying with this bioenergy is not commercial use for at the moment. Even though IQ is already gave us some instruction. So Pak Haris is from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources. Please welcome, Pak Haris.
Yeah.
I think we should give you, or I think you should, because this is already talking about regulatory framework from Pertamina.
Yeah.
And you should have this kind of bioenergy should be in place with the regulation, because if not, it's going to be terrible in when they are using the bioenergy.
Yes. Thank you, Pak.
Pak Haris, it's time for you. We're going to talking about the domestic regulatory framework for utilization of bioenergy for sustainable energy futures. Your time is yours, Pak.
Yes, thank you, Pak. Di sini aja, Pak. Okay. Yes. I would like to start my presentation by showing what kind of the energy situation so far in Indonesia. Next, please. Yeah, so this is one of the information that we try to share with you, that so far the Indonesia is still using 88% of fossil energy and 12% from the renewable. And this is for the electricity. In this case, we have potential of renewable energy so big, but the implementation is only 12.7 gigawatt install capacity. So this is for the electricity and also for non-electricity. What the role of bioenergy in this case? So we see the second, the below part of my slide, you can see here that from 23% of our target of renewable energy by 2025. So there are a lot of role of bioenergy also is included in the part of our report to achieve the 23%. And you can see here the status of bioenergy implementation in Indonesia. For the power plant, we have now installed capacity is about 3.1 gigawatt. Biofuel for the transportation sector, especially to reduce the diesel in land transportation. So we are now implementing about 10.5 million kiloliters. So this is the part of our achievement to implement 35% of biodiesel in our fuel for the car. And then also we have a biomass. The biomass we use is about 1.7 million ton, and then another is like biogas. And so far we are still need to increase our achievement in the renewable energy implementation, but yes, a lot of challenge we face. Next, please. Next. Next, please. Yes. Yeah. This is the biofuel development strategy now. We are on a progress to implement, still implement B35, and then we have a planning to increase more. Not only 35, but we also try to implement B40 for the transportation sector. And we are also has another achievement, especially for the aircraft. Last October, we success to implement, but still piloting commercial for the using the biofuel. So we use the domestic biofuel to also mix to the bioafter, I mean, for the aircraft. So now we are on progress, and then also we already implement 2.4% of fuel for the aircraft, especially for the Garuda now. Next, please. Yeah, this is I mean, next, please. And we are also has this is biomass utilization, especially to reduce the use of coal. As we already know that Indonesia in the transition, energy transition, we try to replace the use of coal. At least we minimize the use of coal by implementing the co-firing. And then co-firing, so far we using biomass to reduce. And now we are implementing about 5% and try to implement more to 15%, even more. So we already implement in 2023 in 44 locations. And we already use about 771 kiloton. So we reduce about 830 gigawatt hour, and then decarbonize about 832 kiloton CO2. We are still have a planning to expand more, and then to increase the share of biomass to reduce the use of coal in the coal power plant. Next, please. Yeah, this is another activity from Indonesia to also introduce another bioenergy, in this case a biogas in industrial. But so far, this is we are still need to increase more effort to accelerate more this kind of bioenergy in industrial sector. Next. Yeah, I think this is several challenges that we are still facing in using or accelerating the bioenergy in Indonesia. So let's say related to the feedstock, we are still have a problem about this kind of sustainability of the feedstock for the biomass. And then we also have the challenge related to the pricing, because so far we need to balance between the price of bioenergy and then the price of fossil energy. We are also has challenges related to the supply demand, and then because the pricing of bioenergy also depend on the price of fossil energy, so that this is also one of the challenges that we face. Quality standard, also one of our challenging, how to maintain the standard so that the quality of a product is still good. And then, yes, policy regulation, we are still trying to increase time by time, because now we are trying to develop more this renewable energy implementation to more implement in Indonesia to achieve our energy transition. So at the end, we hope that in Indonesia, we have activity to maximize the use of biofuel in the transportation sector, and then also, in the same time, we are also trying to implement electric car electric vehicle to reduce demand of transportation. And yeah, I think this is my short presentation, Pak Agus. So I apologize because I'm late to come. Thank you.
Thank you. So because of Rick is going to be leaving soon, I think before we start with Pak Sigit, if there are any questions from the audience, you can please ask directly to Rick before he left in 4:50 maximum, right? Is any, okay, one? Okay, one, so, yes, sir. Can give the mic. Sorry for the apology.
Good evening. My name is Mamba Buso from the Gambia, from the Association of Non-Governmental Organizations, Tango. My question is, climate change is man-made and it's global. When we're solving climate change problem, I think we have to coordinate and collaborate. In the Paris Agreement, they said technology transfer. What is the role of Indonesia to bring this technology to Africa so that we also can learn about it to solve the problem of climate change?
Oh, this you goes to Rick first, your question?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, come on, Rick. Well, all right.
Yeah, absolutely correct that the climate change could not be solved by one country. So we are here to solve about this kind of the global issue. And then one country that have a good example in the country is very, very good to share with the others. And then I think Indonesia is a very good progress in the implementation of biodiesel. So I think it's a very good also if you or others country also try to learn from Indonesia about this kind of successfully that we already implement. So and then Indonesia also have many limitation on the others program. So like, I think like let's say Brazil have a very good implementation of bioethanol, but Indonesia is still very difficult to implement this kind of program. So far when we implement 5%, and 5% also is very difficult. So we can share how the Indonesia can develop a biodiesel successfully to be certified, and we are also ready to come to the B40. One of our key successful is there is like a subsidy not provided by the government, but there is like a cross subsidy between the Indonesia using the biodiesel Indonesia is from a CPO, and then CPO not only for the biodiesel but also we export to other country. And then when we export the this kind of CPO, there is like a levy export to export, and then the government collect this financing, and then to this financing managed by the government and to manage the biodiesel, and then including like a subsidy, because the cost of biodiesel still high compared to the diesel fossil. And then we have a lot of potential about this CPO. Yes, we know that the CPO also for the vegetable, but also, and then we Indonesia try to manage between the use of vegetable and then also for the biodiesel. So this is one of the case successful Indonesia to implement. Thank you.
Okay, Pak. So because of you are addressed to Rick, right? Not to others. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, good evening. My name is Ndaisreng Bakure. I come also from closer. Okay. My name is Ndaisreng Bakure, and I want to thank you for your presentation. I'm from the Association of Non-Governmental Organization, Tango, in the Gambia. I want to know a bit about, you talk about challenges, so I would want to find out regarding environmental impact of biofuel production, the process, particularly affecting water resources, biodiversity, and also how biofuel production, the impact it has on women empowerment. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. I don't know. Thank you for the question. Not sure if the microphone's working, but I think that it is really a critical question to consider the life cycle of different kinds of biofuels. And I think in the presentations, I was really pleased to see some attention to some of the feedstocks for biofuels that can be quite helpful on a life cycle basis, such as looking at effluents from existing processes where those effluents can be converted into useful feedstocks without any of the life cycle concerns that you're raising. But I think it is crucial to consider that in every case. And each feedstock and each subsequent process and biofuel has its own characteristics. So it's important over time to attend to that and to be mindful of the fact that Indonesia has made extraordinary progress in implementing its net FOLU sink and protecting its land sector in that regard. The interaction between the objectives of Indonesia on the land sector and conservation of its important land sector resources at the same time that it manages the fuel sector is really something that requires careful science, careful life cycle considerations, and really looking for those feedstocks such as used cooking oil, which are clearly a win-win, and encouraging use of those. Also, I think over time, that government of Indonesia has tremendous opportunities in electrification of transportation, and I was pleased to see the attention to renewable electricity as something which has massive upside in Indonesia. We are, of course, partnering as United States government with Indonesia through the Just Energy Transition Partnership with other partners, and that is really come to the forefront as the way to encourage cleaner electricity over time. And included in the JETP is the opportunity of electrification. So we will be, and specifically transportation electrification in areas like electric buses. So there's much that can be done in this domain, and I think in every case we want to be grounded in the science and looking for opportunities to have the cleanest possible transportation fuels, mindful of the intersections with the land sector. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. So because the timing, Rick, is time you want to leave? No, it's okay. Okay, I'm sorry for everybody. Just this. Thank you, Rick. Let's give applause to him. So we continue the presentation with Pak Sigit Riantono, and he's also another regulatory member. So from the Ministry of Forestry and Environmental and Forestry. Pak Sigit, time is yours.
Thank you, Pak Agus. Actually, this is the answer for Pak Rick, but Pak Rick have limited time, so I will, hopefully the message will be conveyed to him. PowerPoint, please. When we're talking about the climate change mitigation and adaptation, we already have roadmap, trajectory and strategy that's in our NDC. We as Pak Haris make presentation, we already have detailed roadmap for NDC from energy sector. And we also have a very detailed roadmap for FOLU, but we right now still working in waste and agriculture, and IPPU we already have also detailed roadmap. So when we're talking about waste and agriculture, this is the room for collaboration with the initiative for low methane emission reduction, because most of the low methane organic emission coming from the waste and from the agriculture. So we still working for the detailed roadmap, and we already identify the area that strategically will be the uh, room of collaboration, such as from the landfill, from the domestic waste, like Pak Aiko mentioned also from the industrial, from the pome, from the oil plantation, and also we working in the food waste and also from the livestock. Next, from the landfill, last year we record about 40 million ton per year waste, domestic waste, goes into landfill. We have 2,081 landfill, and some of landfill already implement the methane capture that serves as the alternative of cooking fuel for the local community. Next. For example, in Manggar landfill, we already have 480 ton domestic waste daily, and it's convert to methane, and it's serve for the local community about 360 household for methane that can be used as the alternative cooking oil, cooking fuel. We also have best practices in Malang, next, that it's served for 250 household for the methane that used for the daily cooking activity. And we have a strategic planning to make rehabilitation for the all landfill across of national. And we will make replication not only for methane capture, but also in the major city, we will use for fuel, for RGF, that can be used for the industrial, such as cement, such as industry textile that need fuel for boilers. Next. Like Pak Aiko make a presentation, during 2020 until 2023, we record about 10.2 billion meter cubic of the waste, effluent waste from the pome. And we also have experience that at least 20 companies already make methane capture that coming from the pome. For example, next, it's already produced 1.8 megawatt of the pome methane electricity that coming from the effluent of wastewater from pome. Next, this is another example from another palm oil company that capture the methane. Next. And this is also the company. We recorded at least right now 20 companies, more than 20 companies already implement the methane capture plan. Next. And we also have like baseline for the livestock. It's usually discard directly to the water, to the river, and it consists 4% until 20% of the pollutant load from 15 watershed in Indonesia. So this is the potential to reduce the methane coming from the livestock, and we also have the best practices. Next. We already have biogas. It's in situ biogas that connect directly to the livestock activity. Next. And for food waste, Bappenas, our planning agency, already have made assessment that food waste in Indonesia consists of 20 until 48 million ton every year. And we also have best practices that can be used to reduce the emission coming from the food loss and waste. For example, next, this is in our office that coming from restaurant, and we convert into biogas that can be used for the cooking fuel. This is also example, the implementation of the biogas in our office, in market, and also in cafeteria in some industrial area. Next. And we also have methodology for measuring the emission, methane, and also CO2 equivalent from every side of this biogas. I think that is the baseline and also the best practices that already implemented in Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Sigit. Give an applause for him. So we still have around 30 minutes to have a question to those three distinguished speakers left. So I think it's very important, a very interesting and important topic for us because cooking waste also become the source of the bioenergy. You know, we have in Bali a lot of crews just dump all the cooking waste down to the ocean. So I think it's going to be good if Pertamina can have the processing plan on that kind of port. So is there any question to the three speakers left? This of course is experience in Indonesia is a regulatory and the NOC, National Oil Company, that will be here.
Pak Agus, maybe I can answer the first question. What is the contribution of Indonesia for Africa? I think we have a good collaboration with Congo and DC for peatland management and forestry. So we working together with the Brazil, with the Congo and Congo to develop a mechanism how to reduce the emission from the peatland. And we also have a good cooperation with the South Africa when we're talking about the biodiversity. So that is the example that we can share together with the Africa. Of course, as Pak Haris, Pak Aiko mentioned, a lot of opportunity for collaboration, especially for the bioenergy, for fossil fuel, and etc.
So is there any comment from the African gentleman or ladies? No? Oh. Is there any other question or any other explanation from the operator, from Pertamina? Oh, sorry. Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Not about this though.
Yeah, yes.
I have a different question, if it's okay. Thank you very much for all the presentations. My name is Melis Bitlis. My company is called Eskarus. It's a sustainability company based in Turkey. And all the discussions were really insightful. I was just wondering, I was really curious when you presented, if I was not mistaken, there was a biodiesel minimum percentage regulation that was on the slide. So I was wondering whether there were any initiatives for financial mechanisms, for incentives, for reaching up to those minimum percentages, either for the generation side or for the infrastructure side, any cooperation with different financial institutions or government bodies inside Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So So when we're talking about the bioenergy for the electricity, so the price of electricity is based on the president regulation so far. There are president regulations that already mandated the price, the ceiling price of electricity. And then if we're talking about the bioenergy for the transportation, so this is we talking there are a mechanism like I mentioned before. There are cross subsidy to make it the price of biodiesel is more. It's the same similar with the diesel, so that we can continue to support this. Another support from the government is I think now we facilitate for the research and the development, and then the Indonesia already has like catalyst, and then I think they implemented by Pertamina, and then based on this catalyst we can produce bioenergy and better than I think that better than the fossil fuel. So even when we're talking about 100% from the biodiesel, or I mean from the biofuel to replace 100% of diesel is also is important. Thank you.
Any, Osoki, as a operator, you want to, based on your experience, financing and so on, that is asking you. Okay.
Yeah. We have one interesting examples on biomethane. So maybe Turkey, I think you also import gas from abroad, right? So one of the initiatives, biomethane, is very also not only good for energy security, but also good for environment because we are capturing methane, right? So from our exercise, we already give one of our projects to our subholding on biomethane. Basically, the final price, it is now almost competitive with the natural gas. Because now in Indonesia, the challenge that we have, the natural gas that we have, either contaminated with CO2 and others for Sumatra and Java, or our gas is in the east, which is limited in terms of infrastructure and deep water also. The key is to enable the business by having certificate, biocertificate. So for us, we are glad that we have customers, basically some of the companies in Java Island, in which that they are willing to have the typical certificate. Mostly they are Japanese companies who are in Java, and they are ready to have premium price because this green gas for them. And so basically with similar initiatives in Turkey, we can also have kind of voluntary certificate first to enable the business, and later once we scale up the initiative, the price will go down. So we expect that if we can monetize the biomethane all over Indonesia, it can reach up to 200 SCF. It's a good number in terms of capacity. So we start with the enabler, and then later the economic scale will follow.
Okay. Any Pak Sigit want to add this or just, okay.
Thank you. I'm Sihol from April. I'm also from the Indonesia Chamber of Commerce, or Kadin. I think in at least 2 occasions, Pak Oki and also Pak Haris Yahya mentioned about competing use for the feedstock of renewable energy. Yeah, so I think what it means probably is that, you know, instead of using it for renewable energy, there are other uses. Okay, so economically speaking, that means the price should be higher. Yeah, and for companies to make it worth the while to use renewable energy, they have to be given incentives. Okay, if not, then they will not be willing to pay higher prices for the feed. Okay, now, but like for instance, in the recent electricity tax on electricity, okay, the tax rate does not differentiate between fossil fuel and renewable fuel. Okay, so they just, you know, the law implies a single rate. Yeah, so I think we should together review the policies so that it supports green economy, yeah, and it also allows for the provision of incentives, yeah. In the case of Ministry of Environment and Forestry, innovations in energy will receive some credit point for proper. So I think we are okay with the Ministry of Environment and Forestry. Sigit is the lead person for that, yeah. But we expect to see more incentive coming from the energy sector. Thank you.
Pak Haris, you want to respond?
Yeah. Yes. So for the electricity tariff, I mean electricity price. Now government already provided the price of renewable energy. So I think we already know that the mechanism based on Perpres 112/2022. So based on this Perpres, government already regulate the price. The price is based on the ceiling price, Pak. But yes, this is not enough because let's say when we're talking about the geothermal so far, geothermal is a high cost, and then we already set the price in the regulation is only 9.7 something cent US dollar per kilowatt hour. But there are also a little bit incentive when the source in outside of Java. So there are 1.1 factor, 1.2 factor based on the location. This is one of the government effort to increase the attractiveness of development of geothermal and then also other renewable energy implementation. And then now we try to penalize renewable energy law. So based on the renewable energy law, we provide like some financing mechanism, funding, special funding for renewable energy implementation. So, but now still in progress, Pak, for the discussion in the renewable energy law. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other? Oh yeah. Yeah, please help on the.
Thank you. My name is Esther. I'm a Kenyan, from Kenya. And my question is about the biomass used in the energy sector. In the presentation, you said you use biomass to produce electricity. And I wanted to know, like, how many tons of biomass do you need per day in the system of producing, and how sustainable is that? When you cut biomass, it takes many years to grow. So how is the sustainability of that biomass for energy, for power production? Thank you.
Boleh Pak Sigit or Pak Haris? Both of you, right? Okay.
Yeah. So far as the biomass is used for electricity directly from the plantation. So because now, especially for the CPO industry, they are using waste from this CPO and then used to produce the electricity. This is like a 3.1 gigawatt that already installed capacity in Indonesia. But I'm sorry, I didn't remember the volume. And then now the government also provide a program to reduce the use of coal, because based on our energy transition, net zero emission energy transition toward net zero emission, one of the main program is to reduce the use of coal for the electricity. So how to reduce the use of coal? There are several mechanisms, I think, but now we try to reduce the coal, but the capacity of a power plant maybe not significantly decreased, because we reduce the coal, but we replace by using using biomass. So in a co-firing fuel. So now we are in a pilot project for 5% until 15% using the biomass in a co-firing. So we try to increase more the percentage. not only until 15%, until the coal is minimum level in the coal power plant. And then we are also try to develop, because we're talking about the energy transition is talking about 2060, we are also has planning to implement green ammonia. So green ammonia is produced from the, yes, you know that we using an electrolysis process and then using in the renewable energy to process the green ammonia. And then green ammonia also is, we try also to be used as a co-firing for the coal power plant. And if we still have emission from the coal-fired power plant, even when we already minimize the use of coal by introducing the co-firing program, we are also has another program to reduce the emission by using CCS, carbon capture and storage. So this package will be developed by Indonesia to reduce emission to achieve energy transition target net zero emission by 2060 for the coal power plant. So, and then the rest is we maximize the use of renewable energy. Thank you.
Pak Sigit, yeah.
I think when we're talking about biomass energy, it's very sustainable because biomass coming from the waste mostly. For example, from the palm oil plant, we have effluent wastewater. It's not have economical value, but we capture the methane because it still have many organic, and we convert into methane, and so it's sustained. As long as we produce the oil from the palm oil, we can also have the waste, and it's produce the energy. It's also coming from the landfill, from the domestic waste. Right now, we have like landfill mining. It's mean that we collect the old waste that already poured in the landfill and use for the cement fuel. Because cement is need a lot of energy and they have a very high temperature that can be burn everything. And it is safe because the temperature is very high. No dioxin, no particulate because it's already installed with the emission mechanism that reduce the emission. And when we're talking about the biomass that coming from the forest, it's useful because biomass coming from the fast-growing plant and useful for the rehabilitation of degraded land, and then because it's using the small-scale farmer to produce the very fast-growing plant, and then the power plant buy the biomass, and it's like economic circle. So it's very sustainable if we're talking about the biomass energy.
Thank you, Pak Sigit. Any others? Okay. Please, the mic.
Okay, hi everyone. I am Marwa Bishara. I am from Chad. So Chad is a developing country in Africa, and we're having a problem with the water source because it's a landlocked country. At the beginning, we were having Lake Chad, small lake. It's also shared between 4 countries, Chad, Niger, Nigeria, and Cameroon. Now it's shrunk because of the climate action and the bad usage of it. At the past, it was the 6th biggest lake in the world. Now it became 11th, and it's also becoming even decreasing. People over there used to have it for as water extraction, for the resources, for the aggregation, and like that. But right now, it's a conflict area for Boko Haram. It's also a dangerous area where people has to be displaced. And also, as we know, the Sudan conflict also made people to come overboard to Chad at the east side. So Chad is really suffering right now. And as I read before, I read that the wind energy is the most eco-friendly one. But at the same time, I can't find any wind energy being used in order to extract the underground water. We're using solar energy. But solar energy is not affordable for everyone. It's expensive to bring the solar panels, to bring the batteries, to bring the transducers and everything. So I was wondering if there can be, or if you can illuminate me how, which one is better more, the solar energy or the wind, and if there can be any collaboration between Indonesia and Chad, and like that. Thank you.
Okay, who's gonna respond? This both. Yeah.
Yeah, so far in Indonesia, implementation in Indonesia for using wind and for the solar energy, usually for the for farmers. So let's say, but there is no commercial implementation because this is initiative by the farmer to use this kind of the energy. But I think we we can share about this, and we can develop collaboration between Indonesia and your country to share information about how Indonesia developed this kind of very cheap energy to help them, because this is very beneficial, not only for the farmer, apa namanya, for rice, and then also for the also for the salt traditional management for salt. Maybe do not well explained, but still kan, Pak.
I think in Indonesia we don't have a big windmill plant windmill because the wind is not quite strong in Indonesia. So we prefer many solar panel rather than implementation of the windmill. And in Ministry of Pak Haris, we already have like young people educated how to install the solar panel, so they can go to the remote area because this is adventure and something like that. So if we can collaboration with the training, how to make training for youth and how to encourage them to involve of the environmental movement or sustainable movement, maybe Pak Haris can provide the collaboration with the chat.
I think this is this is very important and part of how do we involve the youngest in the renewable energy implementation. So under the facility of Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, we invite the postgraduate from the academy, and then come to the there is like a contract with the ministry, and then they directly go to the village and to help them and to maximize the potential that they have for renewable energy. Let's say for the wind, solar, hydro and everything. Yes, they can help to help the society. Thank you.
Okay, ada tambahan? Do you have any other additional information from the operator as a Pertamina operator for the energy in Indonesia?
Yeah. I quickly see a chat profile because solar and wind, they are variable renewable energy. Yeah. This VRE, this variable renewable energy, from our experience, it is quite challenging in terms of the cost. So that's why in Indonesia, geothermal is one of the renewable power that we monetize first. Then hydro, then bioenergy. So these are basically considered can be utilized for base load, because in Indonesia we need more energy for base load, because if it is variable, only like solar in Indonesia, average only 4 hours, then we need to fill the gap with the gas supply, or we need to install battery. And so far, the combination between solar PV and the battery still provide very high cost. So I think it should be assessed according to affordability. So of course, the cheapest, the better for society.
Yeah, this is very nice. You know, the information we can share each other on this bioenergy. Is there any? We still have time. If is there any question? Other questions? No. Okay, we stop. Okay, I get signed to stop the discussion. So I'm not giving all the recommendation or conclusion, but I think bioenergy is challenging also, of course, yes, it's challenging for the future is also is good enough. Don't blame the bioenergy because we have to regarding to the foods and all the energy, but we have to be both should be can survive with the kind of bio. So I have to finish all this discussion and thank you for you for the, coming on this evening and see you again in this pavilion tomorrow. Thank you.